accepting applications and resumes and interviews. It's not a legal process. A legal process had already been filed with the Ohio Supreme Court for, if I'm not mistaken, Councilman Lateef Shabazz, who currently serves as the council president. That simply means that the case left the jurisdiction of the probate court and went back to the Supreme Court for determination. This is problematic for so many reasons, because the judge acted outside of his authority of the law. That's the first thing. The second thing is that he has now opened the city of East Cleveland up for lawsuits. Those lawsuits for terminations, wrongful terminations by Sandra Morgan, also opens her up for lawsuits. She has no legal authority to do some of the things that she's already done. The city of East Cleveland does not have a civil service test available for its police officers as required by law. And so, immediately upon coming into the office, she has sworn in 4 people into the East Cleveland corrupt police department, and we don't know if they actually graduated basic training. She did no background check on them. We know the problems that have come out of East Cleveland when it comes to the police department. We know that everything that has been done here, 1920 indictments, removing people from this department. There are still more indictments coming. The current acting chief of police, that should not be here, has serious allegations against him, but he also admitted in open court he does not take the training which allows him to engage in law enforcement. There are so many problems left with the police department, and you would think that anyone that's acting as the mayor would come in and be very critical and make sure that all decisions involved bringing new police officers into the department would be done with due diligence. She has not done that. There are other concerns about Miss Morgan. Miss Morgan lives up on the hill, and so she has gotten money, ARPA funds, $3,000 in ARPA funds that she was not legally entitled to have. She was a supporter of Brandon King, and she helped him survive recalls. She was part of the Fiscal Commission, Oversight Commission. She did absolutely nothing to ensure that Brandon King did not misuse and misappropriate funding. She was silent on the issue. There are so many issues with Sandra Morgan serving as the acting mayor. She was also part of a group of people who wanted to dissolve East Cleveland, and try to annex it with either Cleveland or Cleveland Heights. And Cleveland said, no, we are not taking that responsibility and those obligations. So there are serious issues with this appointment. And so, as everyone knows, I have people who call me from all over the state of Ohio and tell me what's going on behind closed doors. Miss Morgan has gone to Columbus, and she has met with, to my understanding, Patrick DeWine, who sits as a justice on the Supreme Court, who would be one of those people to decide whether or not the office of council president would be that person to take the acting mayor's position. That is a conflict of interest. She has been down talking to the auditor's office. She's been down there talking to the attorney general's office. To my understanding, legislation is supposed to be passed to allow the municipality to declare bankruptcy. So, East Cleveland, I need you to wake up. I need you to see that there is a corporate takeover happening here, and it is unlawful. And everything that occurs with it is unlawful. Now, many of you know me. I am the daughter of an attorney, and conversations my dad and I used to have all the time went like this. Dad, that ain't right. Dad, it's wrong. Dad, it ain't right. And Dad would look at me and he would say, daughter, it ain't about right and it ain't about wrong. It's about what's legal. And I was trained for many, many years to look at the legalities of things that happen in our government. Miss Morgan admitted to Idea Stream that she knew about the existing case in the Supreme Court, which questions who is supposed to take that office. And so her taking the office, instead of her saying to the judge, Your Honor, let's just wait on that case to come back and see, so that we don't violate the law, that we don't violate the charter. No, her interest was to take a position she is not legally, lawfully able to take. She has no right being where she is. And if she really cares about the residents, if she cares about what happens to this city, this municipality, she will step down, and she will step down immediately. I akin this to two people still in the car. I akin it to the judge still in the car and Sandra jumping in the passenger seat. And then he pulls over after he's stolen it and hands her the keys and says, go. And so she now runs over people, she wrecks the car, she causes all kind of havoc, and who is responsible? It comes down to this. Judge Anthony Russo violated the due process rights of Latik Shabazz, who had a legal proceeding in place to make the determination. The Ohio legislature passed legislation 733.07, which clearly says that the acting mayor shall be the council president. What does the charter say? Exact same language. The council president. Who is the council president? Today it's Latik Shabazz. I am not supporting anyone in terms of who is and who ain't. I am talking about what the law says. And the judge suspended the law. The judge decided what he was going to do. He decided he was going to break the law. He was going to send in Ms. Morgan to break the law. And this is not acceptable, and it must be reversed. If she is going to do anything that will benefit this city, it is to step down and move out of the way, allow the charter to operate appropriately as a matter of law, and to make sure that this city is addressed correctly by the rightful people, the elected people that sit on that council. Any questions?
Is that what this is?
It most certainly is a voter suppression issue. So, former Justice O'Neill wrote a dissenting opinion on a very similar case where an elected official was charged and he was to be removed from office. And he said that the revised code 3.16 is unconstitutional. I completely agree with him. Why? Now, everybody, just understand, I am not defending Brandon King by any means, but his due process rights were violated under 3.16. There were that means that a 3-panel judge made a decision that he probably is guilty, and then they suspended him from office. Now, if he had a good lawyer, a decent lawyer, which he does not, and I can say that with all confidence, Charles Tyler is not a good lawyer. He took a lot of money from the city to represent King in private cases, so he owes the city of East Cleveland money. But that's a whole nother press conference. We can talk about that a different day. Now, Mr. Tyler should have filed a case in the Northern District Court to deem 3.16 unconstitutional. Why? Because when Mr. King went in to have his hearing, there were 3 judges and a prosecutor, and he was not allowed to have a defense attorney present. That is a due process violation. At that point, Mr. King should have been able to go through the process of his criminal charges and go through the trial for a determination to be made on whether or not he should be removed from office. So again, 2 cases, 2 jurisdictions, unconstitutional. And this didn't just happen to Mr. King. It's happened to other people in the state of Ohio, which brings me to where I am right now. This is not exclusive to East Cleveland. This will impact Maple. It will impact Cleveland. It will impact Garfield. It will impact every municipality in the state of Ohio under 3.16. Why? Because all you need is a corrupt prosecutor like we have who will come up with any kind of charge to remove an elected official from office. And then at that point, what will he do? He will then have the judge appoint who he wants in that office and another corporate takeover. So, and that Blackwell and Justin Bibb and all these other surrounding judges mayors need to open their eyes and understand their rights are being infringed upon as well with this 3.16. So, understand when Mr. or Judge Russo put Ms. Morgan in, what he did was he forgot about people that had been duly elected to office to serve the citizens. So it is a voter suppression issue because she's not elected. She's not elected to anything. And if she wants to be mayor, then she has a right to run for mayor in the upcoming election. But at this juncture, she is not on council. She is not appointed to council. She is not elected to council. She cannot serve in the capacity of acting mayor. And again, anything she does is unlawful, and she has opened herself up to litigation. And to my understanding, she has terminated Michael Smedley. Now he has a lawsuit against the city for wrongful termination. Okay? This is what Judge Anthony Russo did and did not think about his actions and what he was going to impose on the residents of the city of East Cleveland, who is already in a fiscally strapped situation. He then put an order in that Ms. Morgan is to have the same commensurate pay as Brandon King was also being paid. Where that money supposed to come from? Where is that supposed to come from? Okay? These are things that he did not think about. He had no lawful right to do, because now the city has to pay her and Brandon King. I understand where I'm coming from. This has huge implications. It has huge issues that will go far-reaching beyond the borders of East Cleveland. This will affect Cleveland. This will affect any other municipality. And it cannot not be addressed. If she cares about this city like she claims she does, she will step down from her position. She will tell the judge, hey, we need to wait on the Supreme Court because the charter says that the acting mayor would be the council president. The state law, 723.07, says the acting mayor shall be the council president. She had no right, no legal authority to take that office, and it is despicable that she would step in there and do all these interviews and smile and talk about, I'm a girl with a plan. No, she's not a girl with a plan. She's a grown woman, and she needs to be acting like a grown woman. And if she's going to be responsible, even pretending like she's going to be in this role, she needs to understand you cannot appoint people to this police department without a civil service test. Why doesn't she know that? Why do I know that and she does not know that? This is problematic. This is problematic. And I'm sick and tired of coming to East Cleveland about the problems that come. It's like a Pandora's box. And so we have people that are on the council that have a right to say what happens with the finances here. We don't even know how much money is in that general fund. We have no clue how much money is in the general fund. And she's hiring people, firing people. This is just this is insanity on top of insanity, corruption on top of corruption. You cannot remove a corrupt administration and replace it with an illegal one. That is just the absolute insanity of all of this. So that's my spiel for today. Right on. Any other questions? I hit everything. Matt, you don't have one question for me?
A boring question.
Oh, okay.
I just want to know what the case is that you referred to that when you wrote it to someone.
I will send it to you. I actually have prepared an amicus curiae brief on behalf of the case that's been filed with Mr. Shabazz, and I'll send you a copy of that. We're just waiting for the Supreme Court to set a briefing schedule, and I will be filing an amicus curiae brief. The news media has a very short memory. If everyone can go back and remember this, when Gary Morgan was removed from office, Brandon King was the council president, and he moved into, he was the vice president, but somehow he moved into it was recalled. Okay, thank you. See, my memory is short too, but I remember some stuff. So anyway, that is how Brandon King became the acting mayor, is that there were two people recalled and he moved into that position. So it's in line with the state law, and it's also in line with the city charter. So we have to, ask, why is this different? Because it's a corporate takeover, that's why it's different. But I will send you a copy of my amicus brief. You don't even want to send it to me, so you'll have it so when it's filed. But I need everyone to understand that this is serious. that East Cleveland doesn't have money for more litigations. They don't have money for wrongful termination lawsuits that are guaranteed to happen. It's my understanding that Ms. Morgan was directed to terminate Heather and Willa from their positions. As much as I like to see them to be gone, as much as I like to help pack up their stuff and kick them out of office, they still have a right to be terminated by someone lawfully. And it would open the doors for them to be able to sue the city for wrongful termination. And believe me when I tell you, them two chaotic sisters will do just that. The sisters of chaos, that is what I deem them. They will do it, and they will also sue Miss Morgan, and they would have a right to sue the judge for violating the due process rights of each person that's involved in the situation. So I'm saying she needs to step down before she creates more chaos and havoc and more financial burden to this municipality. They cannot handle it. They just cannot handle it. So, anything else?
I have one quick question. So, if they were to name the council president, they would still have the same problem, right, with paying him? I mean, how would they pay him?
Well, he's already getting paid, or he's supposed to.
Okay.
Under King, he refused to repay. He refused to pay several of the council people because he didn't agree that they were actually council people. So they've gone to court for all of this, and I think they also did it with Justin Anderson and Eric Brewer. Again, litigations, unnecessary litigations. I'm sorry, Juanita Gowdy. These people did not get paid their salary. They're entitled to their salary. And so an acting mayor would come in and he would correct the things that have been done, to those who have been wronged by the King administration. Again, I'm not here to defend Mr. King. I'm always going to defend people's rights. I'm not here to defend Heather and Willa by any means, but they have rights. And I'm always going to be about what the law says. I'm always going to be about what their rights are, and to make sure that it's done lawfully. Okay? It has to be done lawfully without question. Well, we understand that paying two mayors, we still have a problem with the fact that King will probably more than likely be convicted. Okay? And then the acting mayor would then become the mayor. And so it would not be a problem because it would be only like 30 days or 60 days under the current rules and of the charter. The bottom line is that the problems that will occur because of anything that she does are going to be greater, okay, than what East Cleveland is already dealing with. And that needs to be we need to be able to stop that